We are live. What's up, Luke?
What is cooking, my man?
We are the Luke and Brett Show episode. Who knows? Because I still haven't gone back to figure that one out. So, how you doing?
Doing awesome, dude. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. A lot of things have gone on in the real estate industry. I think well, probably not most notably, but most notably to me
For
is
you.
an overall consumer thing is just like what we had talked about. The Feds reduced rates, and guess what happened to mortgage rates? Went up.
Surprise, surprise. Buy the rumor, sell the news.
Everyone, at least the people who I were talking to, they were all like, yeah, they want the feds to reduce rates, reduce rates. They reduced it by a quarter of a point. And then the last I looked at it, mortgage rates, the headline has gone up zero point 0.9 or 9 basis points went up. So what does that tell you?
Price baked into the cake, man. I guess just like anything, they hint at it strong enough for long enough, the market's already adjust to the expectation of it, and then here we are.
It I was talking to my dad a few days ago, and this is when he was very against precious metals, and back in had to been like 5 years ago, he ended up buying precious metals like at 1800, and so now like take gold at 1800, now it's at 3600. He bought silver like at $18, and now silver's like at 42.
It's like, thanks for the tip, Brett.
Yeah.
You've been beating that drum for long enough. All right.
Well, and because you were doing gold options. When there were the gold options? So
Yeah, futures and yeah, options and
I wonder how well that company they've
gold,
got to be doing
silver.
really well.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I had a couple stints like in the physical realm and then also just straight futures and options trading. But yeah, anytime, the market moves, they do really well.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about AI. I think last time that we were talking about it last week, the person who had won that competition that I shared with you, they
Mm-hmm.
won by creating an avatar. They were
Right.
using 11 Labs, and they did a script, put that into the avatar. They were using Descript to edit it real quickly, and then they were using Opus Clip to uh, go from there. All these things that you and I have talked about for years, and the one thing that I took away from that is just because people think that everybody's doing everything with
Right.
artificial intelligence, for instance, everybody's real estate agents are using it to write their listing descriptions, polish their emails, a variety of different things. I can unequivocally say, from my point of view, that is not true. I think that maybe 10%, I'm probably being very generous on that. Maybe 10% of the people are actually utilizing AI in that sort of capacity. But I think for
Right.
the most part, I don't think that our industry has really adopted it much.
No, not at all. And that's hilarious. The winner of the competition. I mean, that was like literally like verbatim the exact SOPs that I sent you probably a year and a half ago. Um, just step by step. I should probably go back and look at when I sent that to you. Like, here's our process.
Yeah. In fact, I can say that Opus Clip was more than a year ago because you and I were talking about we weren't using it that much where we had credits left over,
Hmm.
and it rolled back over, what, 2 or 3 months ago? I think we
Yeah.
actually probably talked about this on one of our episodes, that it rolled back over. And even right now, I'm not using it as much. I need to automate things more.
You you last like a week or two ago, right? Didn't you connect connect your YouTube directly to it. I think that was a
Yes.
huge upgrade to that they did there.
And
Um,
that's interesting because we're going live on both of our YouTube channels right now. And I think maybe you're doing the same thing. The Opus clip, it's actually watching that, and then it will actually pull the full video out of it and then
yep.
cut up the clips. And then you can just go through and just post it from there. Is that what you're doing
I'm
as well?
curious. Yeah, that was the. I mean, that was just the quick and dirty. Um, I have a VA that I trained to like go in and kind of like spot check and edit it, but that's I mean, just for getting stuff out there, I don't couldn't be an easier process. Although I did see that Google, and I think I might have mentioned this to you. Google has rolled out their like internal editing, and I don't know if it's probably still beta rollout, so not access, but putting in like all of their like VO3 editing stuff directly in the platform where you can just click and go type stuff. So that should be pretty cool when we see more of that stuff come out.
So I have all of the top LLMs on my phone. So I have
Hmm.
ChatGPT, which I have the pro version. I have Google Gemini, I have Grok, and I have Claude. I'm finding that I'm using ChatGPT still as my Swiss Army knife. That's kind of my
Yeah.
first go-to place to it. But I'm utilizing Gemini more, a lot of it for the image and photo creation. And because it ties right into Google, I'm finding that I'm using Gemini more for research,
Okay.
and I'm using Grok when I want to find out what's going on. What is the real time sentiment on a typical subject? Most recently, is what we just talked about, is interest rates going up based on the Fed fund rate going down. I wanted to get an idea of what that is, and because it ties directly into X, I was able to get that information. What I'm finding that I'm not using so much is I'm not using Claude as
Hmm.
much.
The the main use case that I've been on Claude for is actually just vibe coding, I guess, is the term that folks are using these days. Just to mock up, quick products and ideas, using that with Lovable to just spin out quick little SaaS things, um, and test. And I mean, it does a really good job. But outside of that, I really don't use it for anything. But it is a good job. Like I'll throw something into like Lovable, be like, hey, make this for me. It whips up a quick prototype, and then if I get stuck on things, literally just take a screenshot of it and upload it to Claude and say, hey, can you fix this or help me troubleshoot it? And it will pump out the right answer and just feed it right back into Lovable.
So, how often are you using Lovable?
Um,
Because I'm using
I'll,
Bubble.
yeah, I'll go through stints. Like I'll get an idea and pop in there. So I mean, it it's something I want to be more active on, just for product development type stuff. But I would say I probably just a few hours a month where I'm like get an idea and I'm like, oh man, I want to see if I can whip up a quick MVP on this thing and see if there's any legs on it. So I'll whip up something. I'll send it out to my like active users and say, hey, let me know what you think on this. And if there's like good response on it, then I'll
And you're
kind of take.
using 100% of
Yep.
AI to draft the code. You're not finding any type of, I don't know, like it's taking you down the wrong path.
No, so um, I I have connected with like a more like professional like coder developer, like because I can pretty much get most everything to like a certain point, but then I'm like, okay, I wiring up like more infrastructure stuff like databases and payment gateways and tracking all stuff like that. Like it, I'm and that's just more of a me thing, like as like a visionary, like I have a billion ideas. Let me throw up stuff up against the wall and see what sticks. But then
Yeah.
I'll quickly, I'm on to the next thing where I'm like, okay, there's legs here. I need somebody else to kind of finish it up. So, um, I mean, if I just stopped and said I'm gonna focus on this and just work on this project for X amount of time, I'd probably be able to get through it no problem. But
Okay.
it still would just completely with AI. Like I'm not like I don't know what I don't know, so I need to just keep that like iterative process where I'm like, okay, I'm stuck here. Like here's a screenshot of where I'm stuck. Like help me understand like what like why or what's going on.
Yeah.
Um, and then have AI tell me, and then okay, plug in whatever changes need to be made there.
And I
Um,
see that as like a level two when it comes to implementation of AI. Level one is just starting to engage with it, asking it questions and
mhm.
getting answers back and learning how to converse with AI. Level two is
Yeah,
actually utilizing it as a partner, as really kind of like what you're doing is creating these various different apps using Lovable. And that's where I see that AI is not going to take out the real estate agent, not going to take out the mortgage professional, but it's definitely a tool that's going to enhance the efficiency and effectiveness of those professionals.
yeah,
So I'm often asked, and I think the worry is within the real estate industry. I remember back in when I got into the business, the internet was a concern that the internet was going to take would replace the real estate agent. We've proven that not to be true, but what we have proven to be true is that 51%, if I remember correctly, it's over 50, but I believe it's 51%. 51% of buyers, they found the home that they purchased, not the real estate agent. Now that's much different
right.
than what it was when I got into the business. In addition to that, 100% of buyers and sellers are using the internet as a tool when they're going through either they're listing and selling their home or they're searching for a home. That holds to be true. So the job of the real estate agent, the job of the mortgage professional is much different, and it really comes down to content, creating content, getting out there, being front. One of the
Yeah,
things that I'm doing right now is having AI act as a professional social media expert and analyze my social media profiles and then tell me what I need to do to amplify and attract the right type of person.
right.
And what's interesting with that is, and now I'm using ChatGPT. I'm using that as a project folder, taking a screenshot of it because it still can't go and research a live. At least maybe it can. Maybe I have to go back and double check it. Maybe that's new in the where it can check the live site. But taking a screenshot of it and saying, okay, help me modify this and edit this
Yeah.
for this, that, and the other.
Yeah, so I think probably what you need to do on that is there is, um, I forget what they call it. I want to say
Man,
it's agent
this is going to be one
mode.
of
I
those
mean,
things that I need to write down. You're going to drop a
it, it,
nugget.
it's yeah, it's available on it's available on the regular plan. Um, but it will just it'll do give you like a daily update. So one of the like use case examples that I have is I would have like a handful of influencers in the space that'll have it follow all their social accounts and stuff, and then it will feed in like a summary of all of their like hot takes or topics that they're talking about
Okay.
every day, and summarize like it's probably like 5 to 10 folks what their what their 2 cents or whatever their quick tip of the day type stuff is, and feed that in. So it'll pull all real time. Just gotta feed it the information that you want it to follow.
And what you're saying is that that's on Chat GPT?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So it's like a
Like an RSS feed. Now I do get,
yeah, almost, yeah.
okay. All right.
Yeah, so it's like a daily action item so every single day I'll have a new summary of all of these folks that'll come
oh,
in,
that's interesting.
and yeah, and it just does it automatically. So it's every day I'll have this new one that'll come in. I'll be like, I have somebody cruise through it, and it's mostly just like, okay, what could we take from here that's been up that's like topical, top of
Yeah.
mind type stuff, and get it out.
So one of the things that I'm also using it for is creating a digital mentor. Just to give an example, I keep on threatening that I'm going to finish my book, and I'm back on to that, trying to figure it out. Jim Edwards, he's running another one of his challenges. He keeps on refining it. He's on version 4, so I'm going through that.
Yeah.
He has a lot of these different genies that tie into AI, and it's a prompt raptor that helps you do it. But I created a digital mentor of him and Dan Kennedy. So when it comes to the title and it comes to the subtitle, I'm saying, okay, what would Dan Kennedy think about
Right.
this? And it's really helping out a lot. Now, I don't necessarily know if someone wanted to go and say, what would Brett Matsura say about this? I don't think there's enough content out there to use that. Although, now that I'm thinking out loud, perhaps that's going to be a side cart to the book. Is maybe what I'll do is I'll create a GPT of me, my business philosophies, put a bunch of Q&As in there so people can engage with my GPT
Right.
directly.
Always a nice little bonus add-on for folks. That was like the Hermosi AI, whatever, for his book launch
I didn't
upsell.
watch that. You sent that to me, and I've been busy so much this last couple of weeks that I just, knowing that
It
I
was
always say that people make time for things that are important, there were just other
yeah,
things that were more important than me doing that.
yeah.
The
It
truth of the matter
was
is, all of these major influencers, the amount of content they're doing, a lot of their message is the same if you're just following them on their podcast, on
yeah.
their YouTube, on their Instagram, on Facebook. I don't think they're saying, I mean, you watched it. Was there anything monumentally different than what he normally says?
I mean, it was absolutely fantastic, especially from a standpoint of just execution, like persuasion, like just you could just tell the time, energy, and everything that just went into like every single little minute detail of executing that. So it's like you could see like he followed almost like to a T, like Robert Cialdini's like persuasion framework of influence, and like moving and just step by step, just executing. I mean, to zoom out to do $100 million plus of revenue in, I think it was like 48, maybe 72-hour period.
That's nuts.
Like it's just, and one of the really cool things is he took everything that he's been teaching and saying and demonstrated it all live, right? Like literally through the process of what he was doing, demonstrating like, hey, all this stuff works. Like
Yeah.
I'm literally doing it right now.
So the
And
value was in kind of watching him
I mean,
do it live.
one of
He
the
was
big
doing a case
takeaways
study while at
for
the same time
yeah,
pitching
I
it.
mean, that was one of the big big takeaways for me. I mean,
Yeah, that makes sense.
the just the execution, like just seeing it as just like a master class on like demonstrating the product itself live in and of itself. um and everything through like the framework of what he was doing, the packaging, the offering, the upsells, the downsells, the continuities, the X, Y, and Z for for everything. So um yeah, it was quite something, man.
That's cool. Well, I'm gonna have to go back. I'm sure it's live again. I can't imagine that he's gonna turn something like that off. But that is one thing that I want to address, and it comes back down to traditional cold prospecting. When you look at some of these numbers that people are doing, there is
Hmm.
a zero chance that you can scale like that as rapidly as they did doing traditional cold prospecting, which means either traditional telephone cold prospecting or traditional door knocking cold prospecting. There's no
Right.
way that someone like him, and this goes into real estate, this goes into mortgages, there's no way you can scale like that.
No, not to that level. But for your regular, average, everyday person, that's taking like him decades, to
Yeah,
plus
sure.
to to get to that exact moment, right? Like,
Well, and then,
and
but then we also have to look at the way that the consumer makes decisions nowadays. According to Google, the decision's already been made on what they're going to buy and who they're going to work with well
yeah,
before they actually meet with someone live. And it has everything to do with the online research they do and the influence or
yeah,
them becoming to know you, like you, trust you. Like they're testing the water the whole time. One of the things I talk to real estate agents about when I go through the stats is that, ladies and gentlemen, you have to understand is that your next listing appointment, your next buyer appointment, it's already begun. And it comes
right,
down to the online content that you're creating because most, I would almost say almost 100%. Let me rephrase this: 100% of your ideal client, 100% of my ideal client uses the internet on a daily basis. They're searching for products, they're buying things on Amazon, they're doing deep dives on how to do certain things on YouTube. That's my ideal client. So it might be true that a lot of people aren't, but my ideal client is, and I know that my ideal client is likely making decisions on who they're going to work with, who they're going to talk to, what they're going to buy or not buy well
yeah,
before. Like I've already lost the business or I've already won the business based on the content I put out.
yeah. You don't know the business you lost because they never went for. But like, I think you and I are very much alike in the fact that like by the time we like schedule a call or connect with somebody, we've already made the decision that we're gonna work with them. It's
Yeah.
just like
And I won't do it because I don't want to, I know it's going to be a waste of my time.
right.
You know, one thing I don't like, I'm looking for martial arts for my son and
Yeah.
he's 9. And you know this, but I don't think everyone else knows this, that I, as a younger man, I'm a certified black belt instructor. I know what I'm looking for.
Right.
Here's what I don't like. I don't like people strategically not putting price out. I don't make decisions based on price, but I can't
Hmm.
determine value. I can't determine what the value is until I know what I'm going to get and what it's going to cost for me to get that. So until
Yeah.
I know those two components, I can't determine what it is that I'm going to do. So to go in like these little martial arts studios, everyone's trying to they're still driving to the free 2 weeks of class. They're still driving to the free appointment. I know the whole process. I know what they're doing. No different than if you go to a
Yeah.
chiropractor or a physical therapist. That whole free appointment is a sales pitch.
Yeah.
And I deliberately won't do that because of that. Now, coming back from the recruiting side of real estate agents, and you were witness to see this, I was recruiting a lot. I had a 90% conversion rate when someone came in and met with me. Why? Because I had my whole value proposition, including my commission structure, available to them to review before they actually met with me. Because if
Right.
they met with me, I knew that they were coming in because they've already researched everything. And that's why I always did that. If you don't have the price and you don't have the value that you're offering, what you're most likely going to get, I would probably say if I'm just going to do a guesstimate, 80% of the time, if not more, you're going to get, I need to think about it. And they do need to think about it. I want them to think about it well before they meet with me.
Right.
Like, I don't think that my sales skills are so independently awesome that I can convince someone to sign on the dotted line in this day and age without getting buyer's remorse. I could probably get them to sign, but they're going to sign because they want to get out the door.
I was going to say you're pretty good at sales, man. I'm sure you'd be very sure you could get a lot of people, but yes, it's you're struck with that buyer's remorse, but you gotta show up and fulfill it after the fact to help keep them on board. But yeah, no, I'm right there with you. I mean, the just like everything, like cold calling and door knocking, like it works. And those free trials and those free classes, I mean, it's just that works. It's an attraction offer.
Sure.
They get people in the door, and it's so.
But you know
But
what works better?
yeah,
And this is something that I did well back before the internet, when I was focusing on defaults, when I was focusing on short sales in the early 2000s, is the free report, the direct mailer, that free report. And it wasn't I didn't deliberately create a free report. It was actually a sales letter, but to share with people what you do and how it works and such, that works infinitely better nowadays.
yeah.
Infinitely. And that's where my book comes
So
in.
speaking of that, and then this is just kind of like a side thing. So I put together one of the things that little softwares that I made was a CMA, just a completely automated CMA. Just pop in the address. So rather than getting a
Did you
free
really?
report, you're getting a personalized CMA for your
And that's
exact
not linking
property.
into the MLS. That's just, you're just
Mm-mm.
pulling that data from,
Just searching the web, like getting everything that it can from um, like public records and stuff.
dude, that's nuts.
Yeah,
That's
it's
really great. I'm going to want to kind of do a deep dive with you on that, simply because of the fact that I think the misconception that you just solved for me is that you have to have these APIs that dive into various different programs and
right.
such. So,
Yeah.
anyways, with that, we are at the top of the hour, and you probably, just like me, have to go. So, any last words?
Let's get it, man.
Let's get it. All right. We'll see you next week.
Rock and roll.
Bye.